All right, what is going on, everybody? Unfortunately, we have another injury, and I have to make a video about it. Um, this one's about uh, Dallas Mavericks point guard Kyrie Irving. We'll get into all the specifics in a minute. If you like what I have to say, like the video. If you have your own opinions, comment them down below, and if you just like the vibes, consider subscribing. Um, so yeah, um, let's just jump right into it. We're just gonna hop right into it. Last night. The Dallas Mavericks were playing the Kings in Dallas, and in the first quarter, literally almost the end of the first quarter, Kyrie Irving goes to the basket on a pretty normal layup, gets past the free throw line, and then he goes into his second how do you call it second motion, right, to get the ball in the basket, and he gets past the free throw line, and then he tries to go on his left leg and try to lay it up, and his knee bends backwards. It bends inwards, away from your body. And I'm laughing because when you've watched this game for long enough and you see something happen, like whenever somebody looks back after they fall on the ground on a non-contact injury, you usually know it's an Achilles because that's the signature telltale. Whenever somebody's knee bends backwards, the 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 best case scenario is that it's a hyperextension, right? And he'll be back who knows when, right? That's what everybody was saying last night was, oh, it's a hyperextension. He just tweaked his knee. If I'm looking at the freeze frame right now of this, and his knee is literally bent all the way backwards. Um, and then he falls on the ground. He's clutching his knee, and it's not good. Um, I guess the medical staff got him up. They looked at him. Um, the refs did rule that he got fouled on it. So in the NBA, if you want to come back in the game, if you are even eligible to come back in the game after your injury, you have to shoot the free throws. If you don't shoot the free throws, you can't come back in the game. So Kyrie couldn't even walk by himself. He got help to the free throw line. He shot his free throws. Everybody clapped. It was a great moment. A lot of perseverance for a guy like Kyrie. I expect nothing less from him. Um, and yeah, and he went off into the night, and I think the Mavs obviously did their due diligence. They looked at it, they got an MRI, they did whatever they had to do, and it came down the pipeline early this morning around 10 o'clock, around 11 o'clock actually, um, from ESPN Shams Charania that Dallas Mavericks All Star Kyrie Irving has suffered a season-ending torn ACL in his left knee, and um, what else could happen to this Dallas Mavericks team? What really, like, what else could happen? Um, it's let's. I wanna. I don't even know how I want to talk about this because I really just could talk about Kyrie Irving and the position he was in for this season and everything. I could talk about the Mavericks with this injury. The Dallas Mavericks season is effectively over. Let's see how many games they have left. I have it pulled up right here. The um, the Dallas Mavericks have they're playing tomorrow, the 5th of March. So they get a day off. They're going to Milwaukee. They have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. About 20 games left. And they are sitting right now at the 10 spot in the Western Conference, barely holding on to a play in spot, pardon me. They have to participate in the play in if they remain here at the 10 spot or anywhere from the 10 to the 7. Um, as teams like Phoenix continue to fall, as teams like the Warriors go up, Teams like the Lakers go up. The Lakers are all the way up to the two seed, the two spot right now. As the Mavericks fall, they're 32-30 on the season right now. They're with Kyrie not being there, their season is effectively over. Um, and I'm not gonna try to talk. I'm not gonna talk about the Luka trade. Um, it is important to mention it, but that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is I think it's gonna be to talk about the Mavs and Kyrie Irving. Um, Kyrie Irving this season was an All Star again, for the first time since 2022-2023. Um, I got a freaking ad in my way. There we go. This season, averaging 24 points, 4 assists, 1 steal a game. Pretty good stuff for Kyrie. Um, almost 5 rebounds a game. His 2 point percentage is 51. His 3 point percentage is 40. That's 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 about his career. 40% from three. Um, and he played 50 of 50 available games. Um, and his season is over. Um, how do I want to say this? Um, Kyrie is a very. I'm not the biggest Kyrie Irving fan. I was very critical of him when he was in Brooklyn. Um, his time in Brooklyn was just a mess. I think the whole team was a mess, and it's weird that he went from what was a mess in well, I I want to preface what I'm going to say. This is it's gone from Kyrie being the problem, right? That was the book out on him when he was in Boston, when he was in um, Brooklyn. He was the problem, right? Great player. This is the narrative. I never thought these things, but he was the problem. He was always a distraction, and he came to Dallas. And Dallas has always been a well-run organization. And Kyrie, um, I think, matured a little bit, and he's grown into a different sort of player in these last couple years. I mean, was he's 32 now. He's a 30-year-old guy. I expect a guy at 32 to mature a little bit more from his time when he was late 20s, you know. But he came to this organization. He's been a good citizen, and you think he's gonna be able to play with Luca, and they would be a great duo, and they were a great duo when they played together. They made it all the way to the finals last year, and they didn't play too well against the the reigning champion Boston Celtics now. Um, but they got Clay. It was looking like a really good team. Derek Lively was um was blossoming, and I'm gonna circle it back to say that wherever Kyrie has gone, whether it's his fault or not, whether it's um just just him being there, and just being a good citizen like he has been in Dallas, disaster has always struck wherever Kyrie is, and it's unfortunate because I think Kyrie is one of the best human beings in the National Basketball Association. I think he's a great guy. I think he's a great person. He's a good player, and he has the best handles of all time. But it just seems like wherever Kyrie is, it's just and no blame to him on this one. It's a freak injury, but man, they it just isn't. Ah man, it's a tough look for Dallas, and it's a tough break for Kyrie. And this season has gone from I don't even want to say really good because they weren't even they never reached the top of the conference. They were five, they were six. They were looking to avoid the play, and they were looking like a good team when it was Kyrie, Clay, Luca, when Derek Lively was half healthy, when Daniel Gaffer was healthy, and now it's just all gone to shit after the Luca trade. It's just all gone to shit. Um, I do want to um, let it be known and get into some of the numbers here that this has potential to be the worst season of Dallas Mavericks basketball since Jason Kidd has taken over as head coach in 2021, 2022. Um, they are nearing that that area. There's 20 games left. The worst season under coach Jason Kidd was 2022, 2023. They were 38 and 44, and they missed the playoffs. Um, didn't even make it. Um, I think they can win 38 games or at least 40 games. If Anthony Davis comes back, yeah, I think Anthony can get them 6 games, 8 games. Um, but this has the potential to be one of the the worst season since. Oh wow, it's tied here. Well, they only won 33 games in 2016, 2017, and they won 33 games in 2018, 2019. Um, so dating back last decade, I'm going to assume the Dallas Mavericks can win one more game. So it's not the worst season in the past um, handful of years, but might be one of the worst seasons under Jason Kidd. And yeah, let's I just want to paint a better picture for you guys here um, about what I'm talking about when the season is over. Um, they have, let's see here, they got one, two, three, four, five, six, 7 people out, listed as out. I'm going to read some of these for you. Caleb Martin out. He has been assigned to the G League um, Texans on Tuesday, so I assume he's working his way back if he's playing in the G League. He will be back. Obviously, Kyrie is just listed on here. Um, he's out for the season, like I said. PJ Washington is day today with that ankle. Um, but that ankle has been bothering him all year. So I do not presume that it's going to get any better if he is going to play on it. I think he just has to sit out the rest of the season or a couple more games, and at that point you might as well rest out the rest of the season. Jaden Hardy is out. Got injured against the Kings as well. Anthony Davis has been out. Um, there is no update on him. The latest update was on February 20th. February 20th, he'll be um, reevaluated in 2 weeks. Let's see. When was February 20th? So he should be reevaluated later this week or early next week. We'll see what happens. Daniel Gafford out. Derek Lively out. Um, no updates on any of those centers or forwards right now. Um, and truth be told, if Anthony Davis, when he gets reevaluated and they it doesn't look any better, or he's just gonna come back and not be 100%. I think they're just gonna shut him down for the season. And I speculated in my midseason report card video that the Mavericks would implode. I didn't think it would be due to injury. I just thought it'd be due to the team being pushed to be in this uh, very pressure locked window of this year, next year, and the year after that is when we have to win. If we don't win a championship, it's a failure. That's never good to put that pressure on anybody. Now, granted, a lot of these guys are 30. Like I said, Kyrie's 32. Anthony Davis is in his 30s, I believe. So it is reasonable, but man, putting that window on these guys who've never. Anthony Davis has had the reputation of not being healthy in the past, but he has been healthy the last couple of years. Same with Kyrie. But these are the things, man. These freak injuries can happen, and you can't put this window on players when you're playing what really isn't a contact sport, but is a very physically demanding game. And the I can just go look at Kyrie's minutes after the Luka trade. He's played. He's had to play a lot of minutes of even the last couple years, just the last couple years. Um, he hasn't played below 35 minutes a game since 2020, 2021. Um, his last year in Brooklyn, he played 37 minutes. Um, his first year in Dallas, he played 38. Last year he played 35, and this year he plays 36 minutes a game. And this year in particular, he's been put under such stress and such duress that Kyrie, you are the guy now. We need you to lead this team. And I think Kyrie is a good leader. I said it in my midseason report card video. Um, if you want to check that out, I'll put a card on the top right corner. Just click it. Um, I've never seen Kyrie Irving as that guy. He's a great ball handler. He's a great scorer, but that's his primary objective is to score. And his passing numbers, he's never averaged more than 7 assists. And you want this guy to lead a team back to the finals? And that's no knock on Kyrie. I don't want to make this about always a bad make it always a bad player. He isn't. He's just not the number one guy to me. He's never been the number one guy. Never been the number one guy. He's always played with great players. Even looking back at his Boston days, he played with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's a Finals MVP now. He wasn't that guy when Kyrie played with him in Boston, and Jason Tatum wasn't the Jason Tatum we know today. But man, you look back on it like, wow, Kyrie did play with those guys. And you look at his time in Brooklyn, and he played with um, James Harden and Kevin Durant. And he was looking to do that in Dallas, and it was fine in Dallas because when they had Luka, but mid-season when a team turns, you say, "Hey, do you want to be the guy now?" You can't answer no. That's kind of the situation they put him in was you have to say yes, and just the duress you put his body under um, is crazy, absolutely crazy. Because for a guy who's never been completely healthy, I mean, this guy he's never played a full 82 game season. I'm just looking at that now. That's crazy. He's gotten close. He played 72 in 2016, 2017. And you can't put a guy at Kyrie's age, 32, which isn't too old, but um, you can't ask a guy at 32 who's never been the guy at any other stop. Hey, you need to be the guy now. You can't do that. You can't do that. And it's poor. It's poor. It's lack of awareness from the Dallas Mavericks and other people in the Dallas Mavericks universe. But um, yeah, I just want to touch on a few more things and then we'll get out of here. Um, let's talk about the Kyrie Irving contract here because he's effectively out for this season. Um, so he has it is he's making $41 million this year. He's on a $120 million contract for 3 years. Next year is the last year of his deal, 2025, 2026. And it's not even up to the Mavericks if he wants to stay. He has a player option. So if Kyrie wants to go, he can go. And if I know anything about Kyrie, Kyrie's a very astute person. And if he feels like the Mavericks are going to try to rush him back or try to do anything that he doesn't like, he might just say, I don't want to be a Dallas Maverick anymore. I wanted to be a Dallas Maverick because I want to play with Luka. That's what a lot of players on this team wanted to do, especially Klay Thompson. Um, we don't have to talk about him, but he came to Dallas in free agency because he wanted to play with Luka, and Luka's not there anymore. Now he's locked into his deal. Kyrie, on the other hand, is not locked into this deal. He can opt out. He's going to lose $43 million. He's going to be coming off a ACL injury, which isn't the best circumstances to go on to be under to take this player option. But if I know anything about Kyrie, he doesn't care about money. I've had the pleasure of watching Kyrie for a lot of his career, um, and just getting to know him as a person, um, and seeing him become a lot smarter and a lot brighter, with his moves and with his by moves I mean like off the floor and like in his way he moves through the basketball universe, so to speak. Um, if he feels like the Dallas Mavericks are going to try to rush him back or whatever, he might just not be there next year. This could be a complete possibility that he might not be there. If the Dallas Mavericks try to do anything weird or anything like, hey, you going to come back soon? Da, 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 da. if they start pressuring him to come back during this off season, or they like the medical staff just doesn't treat him right, which we've seen what that medical staff can do, um, or how quick they judge people, judge players. Like, yeah, X person is just whatever. You know what I mean? I won't name names, but yeah, Kyrie might not be there next year. That's the worst case scenario. But I think genuinely he probably will take this player option because he has torn his ACL, and then he'll just recover next year. He's not gonna come back probably till like, oh man, probably till after Christmas next year. ACL is not a fun injury. Um, and he'll just recover and he'll see what he can do with this Mavericks team next year. But after that year, in 2026, 2027, his contract's over. He's fulfilled his obligations. So it's not looking great in Dallas at the moment. And I think that's it. This has just been a terrible, terrible season um, for the Mavericks. Um, and it's not even like Coach Jason Kidd's fault. This team has just been put in a situation where it's a lose lose. Um, you miss the playoffs this year, or you're in the play in and you lose in the play in. Fans are going to be mad. You you're successful. Fans are still going to be mad. You can't win this year, so this might be this the top three like most like diabolical and like worst teams this season, like in such like a depressing way, have been like the Suns, this Dallas team, and the Sixers, and it's just been bad. Um, I'm looking at the Mavs payroll right now. Um, Going into 2027, 2028, which is 2 seasons away, mind you, but they only have 4 people on the books for that year. They only have 4 people on the books. The year before that, 2026, 2027, they have one, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8 people on the books. Um, that's the last year for a lot of these guys' contracts. Um, that's the last year of the Clay Thompson deal. He will be was that he'll be late 30s. That's probably his last one. Um, Anthony Davis, that's the last year of his guaranteed contract. He has a player option the following year. So yeah, just keep that in mind, Dallas Mavericks fans. You might be heading down a very very dangerous road, and I think you guys know that. Um, so yeah, I think that's it. Um, Thoughts and prayers for Kyrie. Kyrie is again one of the better human beings. I think questionable at times, but I think his heart's in the right place, and it was just really hard to watch that last night. Especially when it gets on Twitter and it gets on Reddit and you get to see it in like slow mo and you see the knee bend back and you see him fall to the ground, and yeah, it wasn't pretty. Nightmare season for the Dallas Mavericks, and yeah, I think that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys um, tomorrow. We might go over some games. We'll see. Cheers.